This is section 1.7, inverse functions. In this video, we're going to go through an example that's really similar to problems 25 to 28 in your book. So we're given this graph, and we're asked to find all these values. So starting with part A, it asks us to find f of 0. So they're giving us some x value, they're asking for a y value. So in other words, we can ask, what is y when x equals 0? So we go to our graph, when x equals 0, y is equal to 2. Alright, moving on to part B, we get the opposite. They ask us to solve for when f of x equals 0. So in this case, they're giving us a y value, and they want us to find an x value. So in other words, what is x when y equals 0? So we see when is y equal to 0? It's equal to 0 here. What is our x value at that place? Our x value is 4. So our answer for part B is just 4. Alright, now for the next two parts, they're asking about the inverse function. And remember, inverse function just flips our x and y's. So for part C, when it asks us to find where inverse function of 0, what that is equal to, where they would normally give us an x, we're going to flip it for our inverse function. So we're going to treat this as our y on our graph. So now they're giving us some y value. So they're asking, what is x when y is equal to 0? Because now we're talking about the inverse function. So we go over here. When y is equal to 0, our x is equal to 4 again. Now our x value is equal to 4 on our inverse function. And part D, similar thing. When it's asked us to solve for the inverse function of x when equals 0, they are giving us some x value now, and they're asking us to solve for y. So what is y when x equals 0 on our inverse? So we go to where x equals 0, and our y value here is 2. So the answer to part D is just 2. Okay, that's really it for this problem. The first two are pretty simple and similar to things that we've been doing. For part C and D, though, remember that since they're asking for the inverse, we just need to flip our x's and y's when we're looking at the graph. So here, instead of giving us an x value, they're actually giving us some y value on our graph. We need to find what x value correlates to that, and same thing for part D. The concepts covered in this video are true no matter what pre-cal class you're in, but in case you're interested, all the problems referenced in this book came from this lovely book right here. Remember that if you're a Baylor student, we offer free tutoring on the first floor of Sid Rich. You can either make an appointment or drop in whenever you're available to get tutoring in pre-cal, calculus, and a bunch of other subjects as well. Feel free to visit our website for more information.